Japan, a nation of bustling megacities, is a land where tradition and innovation coexist in harmony. The vibrant energy of its cities is palpable, with Tokyo standing as a testament to modernity and progress. Yet, beyond the urban sprawl lies the serene countryside, where ancient temples and lush landscapes paint a picture of tranquility. Despite these contrasting scenes, one thing remains constant: the nation's insatiable thirst for electricity. From the neon-lit streets of Tokyo, where every corner is bathed in a kaleidoscope of colors, to the high-speed bullet trains that zip across the islands with precision and speed, energy is the lifeblood of this technological powerhouse. These trains, known as Shinkansen, are marvels of engineering, symbolizing Japan's commitment to efficiency and innovation. Yet, Japan faces a unique challenge. It possesses limited domestic energy resources. The archipelago's geographical constraints mean that it lacks the vast reserves of fossil fuels found in other parts of the world. This scarcity has shaped the nation's energy policies and strategies over the decades. This scarcity has forced Japan to become heavily reliant on imports, making its energy security a constant concern. Massive cargo ships, laden with oil, coal, and natural gas, are a common sight at Tokyo Harbor, underscoring the nation's dependence on foreign energy sources. For decades, Japan sought to address this vulnerability by diversifying its energy sources. The government and private sector have invested heavily in renewable energy, recognizing the need for a sustainable and secure energy future. Hydroelectric dams harness the power of its rivers, converting the kinetic energy of flowing water into electricity. These dams not only provide a renewable source of energy but also help in flood control and irrigation, playing a multifaceted role in Japan's infrastructure. Meanwhile, solar panels gleam on rooftops across the country, capturing the abundant sunlight. Solar farms, with their vast arrays of photovoltaic cells, contribute significantly to the national grid, especially during peak daylight hours. Wind farms dot the coastlines, capturing the ocean breeze. These turbines, standing tall against the backdrop of the sea, harness the power of the wind to generate clean electricity. Offshore wind farms, in particular, have shown great promise, tapping into the strong and consistent winds over the ocean. But these renewable sources alone cannot meet Japan's enormous energy demands. The nation's industrial sector, transportation networks, and residential areas require a steady and reliable supply of electricity, far beyond what renewables can currently provide. This is where nuclear energy enters the equation. Nuclear power plants, with their ability to generate vast amounts of electricity with minimal carbon emissions, emerged as a seemingly ideal solution for Japan. These plants can operate continuously, providing a stable base load of power that complements the intermittent nature of renewables. Nuclear power plants capable of generating vast amounts of electricity with minimal carbon emissions emerged as a seemingly ideal solution for Japan. The workers at these facilities are highly trained, ensuring that the reactors operate safely and efficiently. The technology behind nuclear energy is complex, but its potential benefits are immense. They promised energy independence and a cleaner environment. The vision was clear: a future where Japan could reduce its reliance on imported fossil fuels, cut greenhouse gas emissions, and secure a stable energy supply for its people. However, the 2011 Fukushima disaster cast a long shadow over this energy source, forcing Japan to re-evaluate its nuclear ambitions. The catastrophic event, triggered by a massive earthquake and tsunami, led to widespread contamination and displacement, shaking public confidence in nuclear energy. The aftermath of Fukushima serves as a stark reminder of the risks associated with nuclear power, prompting a national debate on the future of energy in Japan. The Great East Japan Earthquake of 2011, a magnitude 9 tremor, unleashed a devastating tsunami that crippled the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The sheer force of the natural disaster was unprecedented, causing widespread destruction and loss of life. The tsunami waves, reaching heights of up to 40 meters, inundated coastal areas, sweeping away homes, infrastructure, and lives in a matter of minutes. The resulting nuclear meltdown, the worst since Chernobyl in 1986, sent shockwaves throughout Japan and the world. The incident led to the release of radioactive materials into the environment, contaminating air, water, and soil. The global community watched in horror as the crisis unfolded, with news outlets providing continuous coverage of the unfolding disaster. People around the world expressed their solidarity with Japan, while also grappling with the implications of such a catastrophic event. It exposed vulnerabilities in reactor design and disaster preparedness, shaking public confidence in nuclear energy to its core. The disaster revealed critical flaws in the safety measures and emergency response protocols of nuclear facilities. Public protests erupted across Japan, with citizens demanding a re-evaluation of the country's reliance on nuclear power. The fear and uncertainty surrounding nuclear energy led to a significant shift in public opinion, with many advocating for a transition to safer, more sustainable energy sources. In the aftermath of Fukushima, Japan made the difficult decision to idle all of its nuclear reactors. This decision was not taken lightly, as nuclear power had been a cornerstone of Japan's energy policy for decades. The move to shut down the reactors was driven by the urgent need to reassess the safety and viability of nuclear energy in the wake of the disaster. The idling of the reactors had far-reaching implications for the country's energy supply and economic stability. The government launched a comprehensive safety review, implementing stricter regulations and upgrading safety protocols at existing plants. This involved rigorous inspections and the installation of advanced safety equipment to prevent future incidents. The review process was extensive, involving collaboration with international experts and organizations to ensure the highest standards of safety and security. The goal was to restore public trust in nuclear energy by demonstrating a commitment to transparency and accountability. This period of reflection prompted a national conversation about energy policy with a renewed focus on renewable sources and energy efficiency. The disaster served as a catalyst for change, encouraging policymakers to explore alternative energy options. Investments in solar, wind, and other renewable technologies increased as Japan sought to diversify its energy portfolio and reduce its dependence on nuclear power. Energy efficiency measures were also prioritized, with initiatives aimed at reducing consumption and promoting sustainable practices. The Fukushima disaster had a profound impact on Japan's energy landscape. It forced the nation to confront the vulnerabilities in its energy infrastructure and to seek out more resilient and sustainable solutions. The shift towards renewable energy sources marked a significant turning point in Japan's approach to energy policy. Citizens became more engaged in discussions about energy, advocating for policies that prioritize safety, sustainability, and environmental protection. It highlighted the inherent risks associated with nuclear power, even in a technologically advanced nation. The disaster underscored the need for continuous innovation and improvement in nuclear technology to mitigate potential hazards. Experts emphasized the importance of robust safety measures and the development of new technologies to enhance the safety and efficiency of nuclear plants. The lessons learned from Fukushima have informed global nuclear policy, prompting other nations to reevaluate their own nuclear programs. The accident forced Japan to confront the delicate balance between energy security, economic growth, and environmental protection. The challenge was to develop an energy strategy that ensured a stable and reliable supply of power while minimizing environmental impact and supporting economic development. This balancing act required careful planning and collaboration among government, industry, and the public. The Fukushima disaster ultimately served as a wake-up call, driving Japan to pursue a more sustainable and resilient energy future. Japan's geography, an archipelago of islands with limited natural resources, makes it particularly vulnerable to energy insecurity. The country is composed of over 6,800 islands, with the four largest, Honshu, Hokkaido, Kyushu, and Shikoku, accounting for the majority of its land area and population. This geographical setup means that Japan has to rely heavily on maritime routes for the importation of essential resources, including energy. The lack of significant domestic fossil fuel reserves further exacerbates this vulnerability, making energy security a critical issue for the nation. The nation imports nearly all of its oil and natural gas, much of it from the Middle East. This dependency is not just a matter of economic transactions but a lifeline for the country's energy needs. The Middle East, rich in oil and natural gas reserves, has been a long-standing supplier to Japan. However, this relationship is fraught with challenges. The long maritime routes that these energy supplies must travel are susceptible to disruptions, whether from natural disasters, piracy, or geopolitical tensions. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point for oil shipments, is a particular area of concern. This dependence on foreign suppliers exposes Japan to price volatility and geopolitical instability. Fluctuations in global oil prices can have immediate and far-reaching impacts on the Japanese economy. For instance, a sudden spike in oil prices can lead to increased costs for businesses and consumers alike, affecting everything from transportation to manufacturing. Geopolitical instability in the Middle East, such as conflicts or sanctions, can further complicate matters, leading to supply disruptions and increased uncertainty in energy markets. The global energy landscape is constantly evolving, with factors like resource scarcity, climate change, and political unrest impacting supply chains. Climate change in particular poses a dual threat. It not only affects the availability of traditional energy resources, but also necessitates a shift towards more sustainable energy solutions. Political unrest, whether in energy-producing regions or within Japan itself, can lead to sudden and unpredictable changes in energy policy and availability. These factors make it imperative for Japan to adapt and innovate in its approach to energy security. For Japan, ensuring a stable and affordable energy supply is crucial for its economic well-being and the livelihoods of its citizens. The country's industrial sector, which includes automotive, electronics, and machinery manufacturing, is heavily reliant on a consistent energy supply. Any disruption can have cascading effects on production, employment, and economic growth. Additionally, the residential sector, where families depend on energy for heating, cooling, and daily activities, also faces challenges when energy prices rise or supplies become uncertain. The Fukushima disaster amplified these concerns, as the loss of nuclear power generation had to be offset by increased imports of fossil fuels. The 2011 earthquake and tsunami that led to the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster had a profound impact on Japan's energy policy. In the immediate aftermath, the country shut down its nuclear reactors, which had previously supplied about 30% of its electricity. This sudden loss had to be compensated by ramping up imports of oil, coal, and liquefied natural gas, LNG, leading to increased greenhouse gas emissions and higher energy costs. This shift placed a strain on Japan's economy, contributing to trade deficits and higher energy costs for consumers. The increased reliance on imported fossil fuels led to a significant rise in energy expenditures, affecting both the national budget and household finances. Trade deficits widened as the cost of energy imports soared, putting additional pressure on the economy. Consumers felt the pinch as energy bills climbed, leading to concerns about energy affordability and economic stability. It also underscored the need for a more resilient and diversified energy portfolio. In response, Japan has been investing in renewable energy sources such as wind, solar, and geothermal power. These efforts aim to reduce the country's dependence on imported fossil fuels and enhance energy security. Research and development in energy technologies, along with government policies promoting energy efficiency and sustainability, are crucial components of this strategy. By diversifying its energy mix and embracing innovation, Japan seeks to build a more resilient and sustainable energy future.